Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace, blessings, and mercy of God be upon you. May Allah send His peace and blessings upon the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and all of his companions and all of those Anbiya, prophets, and strivers for the will of Allah, the will of God. I was in the grocery store today shopping, and I walked by an individual who was older, maybe late 50s, early 60s. He had a military hat on and a military green shirt that said ISIS. In other words, kill ISIS, you know. And I make my opinion known about this all of the time. May Allah forgive me if I'm wrong. But I'd say probably 90% of the Muslims don't agree with ISIS. We don't acknowledge them as being a part of us, and we don't support them in what they're doing. The only people who do are people who are hard-hearted, people who don't take the time to really understand this religion, who really don't take the time to understand what the purpose of Islam is. And while I was telling this man, of course I said, nice shirt. He said, oh, you like it. And being in a town where there's not many Muslims, he didn't expect me to be Muslim. He didn't notice the dhikr beads that I had wearing around my neck, or the fact that my pants are rolled up above my ankles. So he begins talking to me about it, and he tells me that he's in the military, he was in the military, he's a combat veteran, and he teaches combat training, etc., etc., etc. And I said, well, I happen to be Muslim. His whole facial expression changed from a smile to, it looked like he was angry a little bit. And I said, but I'm not that kind of Muslim. And I said, in fact, most of us aren't that kind of Muslim. Islam doesn't teach that kind of thing. But you have to understand that this is emotion. These people are being, tricked by the shaitan by way of their emotion. And there is bad things going on in the earth. And there are people being oppressed. And this country has a habit of going into other countries that they don't belong in. And he said, I'm a military veteran. I was in Vietnam, and I'll be honest with you. We should never be in Iraq. We should never have been in Afghanistan. And we should have never been in Vietnam. It's all over oil and other things like this. And I said, yes. And I respected him. I smiled and I respected him for what he said, because it's true. SubhanAllah, Vietnam was started, and we went over there and engaged those people over a lie, the Gulf of Tonkin incident. Afghanistan is a place that we should have never been. It's all over the opium. 98% of the world's opium comes from Afghanistan. There's $1 trillion or more worth of lithium underneath Afghanistan. And there's a multi-billion-dollar oil pipeline that Afghanistan is in control of. So it is a hard situation, And I tried to explain to him that my brother is in the military. I don't hate my brother. I don't agree with the military industry. I don't believe in the government. I don't believe in our foreign policies. But I love my country, and I love my people, and I want good for them. This is what we should be as Muslims. We should want good for all people, not just ourselves, not just, the people who say what we say and believe what we believe. Our responsibility is to convey the message of Islam. If our intentions and our sincerity is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we should want good for the people, and we should want to convey the message, not kill them. How are you, if your purpose is to convey this message and bring people close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and bring the world light, how can you do this by hating, by being condescending, by creating problems? You can't. How many people have you ever loved because they told you that they hated you, they hated everything about you, they don't care what you believe in, and they mocked your beliefs? How many of us would want to be with them, would want to hear what they had to say, no matter if what they were saying was true or not? You can never gain someone's love and affection by hating them, by being hateful to them. But there's a thin line between compromising truth and being kind. the the other man, I walked away and he stopped another man and I overheard them talking, and they were laughing and they were talking, and they I came back and the other man started talking to me about me being Muslim and how I felt about the situation. And I told him how I felt about the situation, and I told him how a majority of Muslims feel about the situation, that we are not allowed to return evil for evil, and that we are not allowed to kill innocent people, people who are not fighting directly against us, men, women, and children who are not fighting. We have structure in Islam, we have parameters in Islam when it comes to battle, when it comes to these things, you know. So I told him these things, and he said, I hear a word, it starts with a T, that you can lie to the infidel if it furthers the agenda of the Muslims. I said, brother, listen, if you catch me and I'm afraid that you're going to kill me, I'm allowed to lie to you. If I think that it'll bring harm to the Muslims, I'm allowed to lie to you. But about God and about this religion, I will never lie, and I can't lie. I'm not going to say something that's not true about the religion of Islam. I might say, no, I'm not Muslim if you have me somewhere and you have a sword to my neck. But me, personally, I won't do it. It's permitted, but I'll never deny Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'll never deny the fact that I believe in this religion. And I'll never deny the ayats of Allah, the verses from the Quran. There's nothing to deny. The verses that are in the Quran that people like to take out of context are brought about and revealed at a time when these pagan idol worshippers who had took over the house of Ibrahim alayhi salam were killing the Muslims, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers. And it says in there, kill them where you find them. Yes, the infidels. They're referring to a certain people at a certain time. Fight them the way that they fight you. But these hard-hearted individuals who are given so much media attention, they like to use those verses from the Quran to justify what they're doing. This is not good. This is not good for our religion. It's not good for our agenda, which is to bring people close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to bring light and mercy into the world. This deen did not come to kill, to cause division and hate. This religion came to perfect people's character. It came to bring a warning to the disbelievers and a mercy and a reassurance for those who believe and those who do good deeds. Subhanallah. If you kill my family and I go and kill your family, how can I say that I've helped the situation? I've only added evil upon evil. If anything, I come and kill you. Because if you kill my family, I'm going to kill you. That's how it is. I was telling my father, when I was talking to it about my father, my brother's in the military industry. I said if somebody came over here to my brother's house and killed him just because he's in the military, I would hate that. I would hate the person who did that. But if my brother goes into another country because these people gave him orders and he's killed over there fighting for a people that are stealing from another land, am I going to be sad? Of course I am. It's my brother. I love him. Wallahi, I love my brother. But I don't agree with the reasons and the purposes that we're in these countries. And you can't tell me that it's about freedom and about democracy and about protecting our rights, because we're one of the most powerful country, if not the most powerful country militarily. There is no country in this world will ever come and invade America and take it over. They're not stupid enough to try it, because they know that we have enough nuclear weapons to blow up the world 6 times, and the people who run this government are arrogant enough and evil enough to do it if you tried. So they don't bother with us. We spend so much time listening to what the news says and falling into this blind sense of patriotism, this blind sense of we're spreading democracy. Haven't you noticed yet that we only spread democracy in places that they have resources that we want? Places that don't have central banks? Haven't you noticed the boom of heroin and addiction to pharmaceutical opiates. Since we've been in Afghanistan, 11 years we're in Afghanistan. May Allah give the people of Afghanistan sabr and peace, and may Allah raise up those people who He intends to raise up, inshallah, one day from that area. I don't wish bad for no one. I don't wish bad for this country. I don't wish bad for that country or this country or that country. I wish for guidance for people. Do I like the system who are behind the military industry, who are behind the corporations and the media? No, I can't stand them. I'm an enemy to them, and they can be an enemy to me. I don't care about them. They make humanity stupid. They wreak havoc and create fitna and mischief on earth, and they're oppressing people. And one day, inshallah ta'ala, Isa, Jesus alayhi salam, will come, and the truth will be known, and they will be destroyed. But that's a whole nother subject. Brothers and sisters in Islam, when I look at the photos of Eid and the amount of people that are praying and bowing their heads in prostration, standing in line upon line upon line from all over the world, I see a beautiful thing, but I see potential that has not been tapped. We have the power to change the perception of Islam. We have the power to change the world. If we turn back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all together, ask Him for His forgiveness, and implement the example of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Stop allowing our leaders and our governments to keep us divided. Stop allowing these people who want to create division within the ummah. There's no Shiite, there's no Sunni, there's no Sufi, there's no Salafi, there's no this or that. It's Muslim, it's believers. If we be kind to the people, if we are good and we stand united, how can we ever be defeated? If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts us, nothing can stop us. When do we come together for more than just 1, 2, 3, 30 days of the year? First, we have to work on ourselves as individuals, inshallah, and purify our intentions for Allah. If we want good for humanity, and we want good for ourselves, and we want to do the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then let us make our intentions pure for the sake of Allah, pure for the sake of God. And for those non-Muslims hearing this video and you hear the word Allah, it is the God of Abraham. It is the God that Jesus alayhi salam prayed to. He is not God. He prayed. He was not all-knowing. He told people to follow the laws and commandments of God. He told people that only those people who did the will of his Father, metaphorical Father, will enter into salvation. He said there is a narrow gate, and the path to destruction is broad. That narrow gate is not Jesus alayhi salam. It's submission to God's will, which is what Jesus alayhi salam taught, even in the Bible. Submission to God's will, and few people find it. Few people find it within Islam. Few people find it within Judaism. Few people find it within Christianity. The religion doesn't make you or break you. It is yourself, your intentions, your sincerity. What are you searching for? Who are you doing this for? And who are you taking your knowledge from? There's a compass inside of your heart. If something's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. And you know, and I know what that is. It's what God put in our hearts. It's a compass of sorts. So let's start looking inside here. What's better, love or hate? Truth or lies? Unity or division? Peace or war? Truth, it's easy. Subhanallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.